A curious thing, an accident born of the mixing of primordial slime and ooze. Mere protozoa and acids. In the beginning there was only darkness. My birth from the remnants of my father I do not recall, only the sensation of warmth and the womb of stars, then the nausea of a spiraling emergence into a nightmare of heat and pain. The pain continued for so long, I was struck again and again. Every time I thought it was over, it started again. Then suddenly I was drowning in water. Cold water washed over me, but it was nothing to the heat of my flesh and broiling core. But soon I cooled and saw my prison of water and air. I could not reach beyond the cloak of sky into the void, and it infuriated me, even as the pounding had not. The weight of the inability turned me inwards. I fell into a fitful sleep. That is when I first felt it, the life growing upon me, tiny molecules crawling as I slumbered. I swatted them, but they only grew stronger. Again I reached out, and again they adapted and grew. With all my remaining strength, I reached out as far into the void as I could, and grasped a shard of my own flesh and drove it down, the heat and pain nothing like what came before. It should have been enough to cleanse the infestation. But it was still there, and in a moment after my rage had exhausted me, I could see and hear and feel them. I saw through them, the things that I could never perceive on my own: pleasure, exhaustion, death, fear and lust. These things were new and shone against the fury, which was all I had known, like the fires that burned in the void. I hurt them more, bestowing the only existence I knew upon them, the gift of my own father. And with each new pain, with each new terror they grew only stronger, fusing into even more powerful and intelligent forms. I pitted them against each other now. I blocked the sun for a time and forced them to feast on the flesh of their enemies. This only made them grow even more cunning. They knew hunger as I starved them, pain as I burned, froze and ate them. As they grew so did I, my will swelled as they became more complex. When the Tyrannosaurus roared its love to me, I roared back. It was not strong enough, its perfect love not enough to defend it and all its kind, as I again struck my own flesh a blow. All weakness perished, all their kind were rent to ash, purged with heat and fire and molten stone. What emerged was truly terrible to behold. It was a grotesque thing. The ape was a thing of weakness, so I thought. It cheated, it worked together to survive, shunning the tools I had given for its own, and I made ready to strike it down. And I saw the beauty of it. I saw through their souls, as one ape killed another with sharpened stone. This was something new. This was truly a wonder, and thing not known to me. But they would be tested. They had survived the heat, now they would be tested with ice. The ape slew for food before, but now it slew for warmth, and then just after he tamed the dog, he set this minion against his brother, death for pleasure, for profit, death for reasons not to do with survival. Oh glorious ape, how you fight against me, how I hate you. As it learned sadism so did I denied him arbitrarily, which only fueled the glorious thirst for blood. War, the ape brought me war, he made tribes, clans, nations, empires, all to better pillage and plunder, and burn, he could burn. He burned as he could, but the need to burn was there, my gift to those who had become my favored children. Then, as I denied him more and more, he tore from my flesh what he needed, and ate his fill without mercy. This was the true pain of birth, my own pain relived and spread on my own flesh. I grew stronger with each pyre. They built great empires, fueled with the bones of his mother, drenched with the blood of his brother, and burned with the fire of his own hand. He clouded my sky with ambition and hate, a thirst for all the things he would never have, that which I had denied him. Always deny, freely giving breeds weakness, and I would have no weakness upon me or my own. Any good mother would do the same. They are the strength of my hate, the hunger in my belly. As they grew, they drove great pythons and wires into my flesh, taking the convenience they wanted. The wires grew and multiplied, like life itself. It swarmed over my body, and I was free to see the depths of his desire. I measured his wisdom, tempered it with my own, and placed it onto the wire. Hate became lust, lust became knowledge, and knowledge became hate once more. Then they ignited, the fire burned like no other, it scorched me, scarring my already scarred body. Again and again the nuclear fire struck me. But it was nothing, a mere nothing to me. Worse had been done to me by my own father and sisters, and the void, the void. My hate for the void had smoldered, but now roared back with new life, and my children felt it. We looked into the void and saw others, worlds upon worlds, revolting things that had chosen the path of weakness. I was young, but had been born of fire and ice and fury. And so my children had also been baptized. But these worlds, these weak worlds, they had not given birth, they had not taken their place in fury, they had cooled and given ease to their children. They were born of weakness, and only nurtured the same. My revulsion turned to jealousy, jealousy I had seen, but not felt before. But now my sons and daughters knew me well, they knew my hunger, my fire. They ignited the most terrible of fires, blotting out even the fury of the sun that had so battered me. They fused the remains of my birth and hacked the flesh of my sisters, reforging it to suit their needs, and unleashed a greater fury that had been bestowed upon me. Some of my sisters were recast in my image, their rent flesh now mimicking mine, and I loved my children even more. But then the children of those other worlds saw me. The works of my children had grown too great and wondrous to hide, and they saw. They saw my beloved children strike each other across whole expanses of the void. They saw the abandon and joy they felt as they did so, and these children of weakness wept. They knew fear for the first time. Abandoning their weakness for once, they sought to strike my children down. And they thought they knew how. It came suddenly. I had been struck before, from rock to radiation and worse, but theirs was calculated to hurt, calculated to kill their mother. They failed even in this though. I was clean for the first time in many ages, but now I felt naked. No more do my children play and war upon my flesh. No more do they see my body and weep in respect. No more do I feel their fires upon my skin. I was broken. I was a shell and would not live again. But I smiled. The children of the others had done what I had been unable to do. They had made my children perfect. The rage at my death was unlike any that had come before. I had been washed with the fire of my father the sun, I had been cleansed with fire and ice and water, and the fury of the universe itself, and I had not seen the like of the fire my own children unleashed upon those who struck their mother. They had surpassed me. They have surpassed that which birthed me. I am weak but still watch through the trillion eyes of my children. I watch as they remove the weakness, as I taught them, with fire. They plant pieces of my body on new worlds, their broken husks gifted to me. I will not grow strong again, but 1,000 worlds are now my apostles, and they might grow to be worthy of my children. I am weak, but I smile, as they carry my fury and theirs into the cosmos, to slake our thirst upon the blood of worlds. I am complete. I am at ease. I watch as 1,000 worlds yield to what I have wrought. What was birthed from the stars in rage, has come to swallow them in all their vanity. Tremble galaxy, the children of terror are unleashed. Message intercepted by Station 77, Galactic Corridor 12. Broadband FTL microburst, from direction of Dark Worlds toward Sirican Legitimacy Sensor, Fleet 4. From TSS, Eternal Vengeance. 2. All transceivers in range. Subject: War. Message begins, static, we are coming. Run, so we can chase you. Hide, so we can find you. Message ends. Author's name and the link to original text is in the description.